Jason Todd was the second Robin. There was an issue where he is left in a flaming building. They had a hotline you could call to vote on whether or not he died. It won by not a lot.
But
it was like 51%, 49 or something.
Right.
I thought it was way
I
bigger.
think it was a landslide.
No, it was super close.
Go to craft.com to do some fact checking.
I know. The only place that I go.
We'll check after this like Fox News does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we won't
there will be no
retract
retraction.
But we'll still stand by our numbers.
Yeah.
So on this episode of Four Letter Nerds, we are discussing what makes an American hero.
Yeah, I've always been sort of interested in the noir hero. In everything that I do, the hero always loses in stuff that I write. The hero either dies or they fall in some sort of way.
It's because your life is such a failure.
It's because I'm a terrible person. But what happens in American culture is that we don't actually consider somebody a hero until they die. That all, boils back down to the way Western culture is infused with Christian values, because Jesus was the ultimate martyr. When they die, it somehow means something more. What does that say about me? What does that say about what America is?
I think that there's two ways to look at that. Western culture is looking for a way to put a bookend on that story. They want the character to not come back and tarnish everything that they created throughout the story. There's a nerd hierarchy, and all the people that are lower than me on that are spending their time writing fan fiction.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
You're asking why it is people prefer their heroes to die, and
Yeah.
I think it's because they have to die before, like, Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X had their sex scandals.
Hey, where are the white women at?
You have to die
Right.
early before your reputation can become tarnished.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
And that's such an American idea.
I would contribute that more to Western culture. For example, Harry Potter is a very Western thing, but it's not necessarily an American thing. Christian-oriented societies tend to have this "we need a martyr" mentality, and we need somebody to be clean and pure. And it's funny to me that that's the way that it is now, because society is also tend to be driven towards heroes that are a little bit more shades of gray.
50 Shades of Grey, read by Gilbert Gottfried.
His hands reach around and my nipples pucker.
But they still want that bookend. You can be tarnished while you're alive until you do this great thing.
But I'd really like to claim your ass.
That was the great thing that Martin Luther King did. That was the great thing that Malcolm X did. And that was it. It ended doing that.
And then I fist him like you wouldn't believe. He's dead.
Not Brett Favre was a great quarterback, but he sent pictures of his dick to all these hoes and no one loves him anymore.
Bitch, please!
Or in the comic book world, in a really weird way, like, we're supposed to see our heroes as martyrs just because they gave up a normal life to do this other thing. So, Superman's never gonna die, even in Death of Superman.
Oh, Batman didn't die, which I feel was a travesty.
I
know! He so should have died.
America defines their heroes by how much they sacrifice. Not how much they give, but how much they give away.
You're welcome.
Trust the gorgeous fisherman.
Also, there's such a huge fan outcry whenever, specifically, a comic book character dies.
But on the flip side,
Jason Todd.
yeah, exactly.
Everyone wanted him.
Everyone wanted him to die. That's also a shitty character that no one wanted to see be a hero.
But then they turned him into a temporary villain and then let him have his return to grace, where he now has his own comic book series.
It was basically the Batman version of the Punisher.
He tends to be a little bit more of a vigilante mercenary style character.
But that's what we want to see in American
anti-hero?
heroes. No, like, the anti-hero is like the new American hero. That's what I was going to argue with Dan. Superman is like an American hero, even though he's an alien. And in Golden and Silver Ages of comics, he was the epitome of that, or the epitome of that.
Truth, justice, in the American way.
There you go, and apple pie.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I think it has to do a lot with the way Americans perceive themselves. In that Golden and Silver Age, they perceive themselves as the best. Now, we're in a time where America's like, maybe we do bad shit, but we do it for the greater good.
How can this be for the greater good?
The greater good.
Or we think that we're smart enough to acknowledge it. I think that Americans think we're too smart for that now.
We have a game show in our country called Survivor.
That's a game in our country, where you can win $1 million for surviving 30 days in a place where people already live.
We think that because we're self-examining what makes somebody a hero or what makes somebody good, like that makes us somehow still better because we're smarter at least. We may not have the pure, untarnished morals anymore.
When Superman and even the original Batman was created, Batman tended to be more like Superman. It was all about what was masculine and strong but pure in the 50s. People still did the awful things that they do today. It was just you did it in the shadows and you didn't let people know about it.
Privacy of your own home.
Yes.
Your grandparents.
And the
were
focus
dirty
is
fucks.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
America still needs to see good punch evil in the face. When you look at Superman now, his resolution to everything is to win by hitting it.
Speaking about that, Laura mentioned Dr. Horrible.
And that is a classical anti-hero as well.
Right. We're watching Captain Hammer, who is essentially Superman. That's the American hero, but you hate him the entire time.
He's big, dumb, and he punches shit.
stuff.
These are not the Hammer.
That's a good point. I think that what it really represents is the emergence of subculture in America.
Right.
You're seeing people who are living in a way that is usually treated as the abnormal or the oppressed. They want to see the scale balanced, and the way to do that is to kill the big good guy.
Yeah, and a really great way that developed, I think, is because our generation has been so turned in on itself with the internet and with self-examination. Dr. Horrible has a blog, and that's the format of the show. He's a bad guy, and he's a villain, but we love him because he's talking about himself, and it's from the heart.
Yeah.
We're starting to see intelligence win over masculinity. We're starting to see brain win over penis.
The Hammer is my penis.
I think that the new American hero is somebody who's rebelling against the system. Traditionally, the American hero is somebody who is protecting the system.
Which would be Captain America.
Or Superman, or the police officer.
Oh, wow. I just had the weirdest dream. You know you're driving, right? Nobody in it.
In the Civil War series, they had Captain America.
Yeah, they killed Captain America because they realized that he is no longer the symbol of what America is.
Which is, I think America recognizes now that saying that someone is a patriot does not mean that they're a hero.
You look like a fucking bitch on heat, and if you get raped by a pack of
Cheetos,
it'll be your fault.
I think one American hero who sums up absolutely everything we've been talking about thus far is Indiana Jones. Working for the government, kind of. They tend to stick their fingers in his business all the time. He's doing his job, presumably for the greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good.
He wants to contribute to cultural
It belongs
awareness.
in the museum.
He wants to preserve things.
That belongs in a museum. So do you.
But he inevitably gets kind of unwittingly thrust into these I gotta save the world situations, and he usually does it by punching it in the face.
Another thing that you're starting to see become very popular is characters that begin their story with selfish motivations. And the perfect example for me is the video game series Uncharted. You see this really good main character who is essentially a lot like Indiana Jones, but he's not doing it for the knowledge to provide to the public. He's not doing it for the respect for history. He's doing it because he is a treasure hunter. And by the end of the story, he's making choices that are based on moral decisions. Another character, which is a Harrison Ford character,
Showing
that does this very well, is Han Solo. He's a mercenary, he's in it for the dollar, and by the end, he's standing up for the rebel cause and doing what is right. That is a great representation of America's expectations of humanity.
It's not the first time I've completed the castle run in 12 parsecs.
You realize that's a measure of distance by the angle of the sun, right?
I'm out of it for a little while, and everyone gets delusions of grandeur.
Thanks for coming after me. I owe you one.
Sorry, sweetheart, I don't have time for anything else.
What the fuck are you guys talking about? You've been under the covers making chewy noises for the past 10 minutes.
Don't get cocky, kid.
Fuck this, I've got better shit to do.
Would it help if I got out and pushed?
It might!
I love you.
I love you.
I know.